5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ambassador Blake, Mr. Yoon, both and all of us talk about the great economic opportunity that exists between the United States and India and the South Asia region. Ambassador Blake, having spent as much time as you have there, can you comment on what some of the perceived threats are to that relationship and to the economic opportunities that exist?
Well, I think the main threat is the declining growth rate that has occurred in India because of declining investment and because there has been a slowdown in the economic reform efforts of, over the past several years. It's no secret that the Indian Parliament has been tied up in knots over debates about corruption and other such things, and so very little has gotten done. To its credit, they did pass a quite important reform to open up India for foreign direct investment in the multi-brand retail sector, which we think is very, very important. And they've taken some steps to try to accelerate the approval process for foreign investment. But much more needs to be done. And I think the Indians fully recognize that. And certainly our companies through the U.S.-India Business Council have given them a very rich menu of suggestions of things that could be done to open up in the areas of banking, in the areas of retail, in the areas of things like defense, all of which would, insurance is another one, that would tremendously increase the levels of foreign direct investment and help boost the levels of growth in India.
And obviously, opening up India's markets is beneficial both to our economy and our companies, and certainly helps India become a much more modern economy. Are there strategic things that we can do diplomatically to help speed along this process?
Well, very much so. We have a range of economic dialogues that we conduct with our Indian counterparts. The U.S. Trade Representative has something called the Trade Policy Forum. So there's a number of different initiatives that are underway that help, again, remove some of the blockages that do occur. But I should say that even with some of these problems, India remains one of the fastest growing economies in the world at 5%. And it's projected to be the third largest economy in the world by 2025. And our own trade continues to grow very substantially. It's quadrupled over the last 8 years, and it is growing at roughly 20% a year. So, obviously, we'd like to do even more, but I think we're very happy with the progress that has been made.
Fabulous. We certainly would. Shifting a little bit, I know you commented that Afghanistan is not part of the South Asia region, but obviously, as we draw down and bring our troops home, it'll be critical to maintain some of the gains and some of the stability. Obviously, the U.S.-India relationship is a very strategic relationship here. From your perspective, what do you see as India's role in helping maintain stability in Afghanistan and the region entirely, and then what we can do diplomatically in the U.S.-India relationship?
Well, your question is a timely one, Congressman. We've just finished our latest trilateral dialogue with India and Afghanistan last week that I represented the United States at in Delhi. And we appreciate very much the significant role that India is playing in Afghanistan. In fact, we see India as kind of the economic linchpin for the future as our troops draw down, as their spending draws down. It's going to be much more important now to establish a private sector basis for the Afghan economy and to make a trade-based economy and not an aid-based economy. And India has such an important role to play in that. First, it has a very large investment program. It has invested in things like the Hajigak iron ore deposit that's going to be a major, probably $8 to $10 billion investment. It hosted a major investment conference last year to promote foreign investment into Afghanistan. It has its own very substantial assistance program of approximately $2 billion. And it very much has embraced this regional integration vision that Secretary Clinton and now Secretary Kerry have endorsed to open up all of these trade links to allow for example, the Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India gas pipeline, and other forms of infrastructure, road, rail, and other openings that will link up this region in a very significant way. And India is really at the heart of all of those efforts and is such an important partner for us.
Thank you.